Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Emperor Doom. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, let's take a look at this brand new Marvel Legends in the form of Emperor Doom. Now, if you're not familiar with the look, you will be forgiven, as it isn't just Doctor Doom in Doctor Strange cosplay. This is taken directly from the comics. It happened last year in the Blood Hunt storyline, issue 5 to be exact, and in its most simplest form, Doctor Strange had to give up the mantle of the Sorcerer Supreme to Doctor Doom to help him with the vampire apocalypse. But he refused to give it back, went into hiding for a little bit, and then came back as Emperor Doom in the One World Under Doom storyline. So this is a very quick turnaround from the comic book pages to action figure plastic, and it is a very nice representation of the character as well. He's got the Eye of Agamotto in green with the cape, so you get a nice mismatch of the characters. We get some effect pieces, some interchangeable hands, Doctor Doom, Emperor Doom, sorry, on the front, and then on the top we get that crest of Latveria, which we have recently seen on that gold bar tease. So we still don't know what Marvel Legend that is associated with. Time will tell. Guesses in the comments. There we have Doom on the side. On the back, again, another picture of Emperor Doom and a write-up that says, to stop a vampire apocalypse, Doctor Strange must give the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme to Doctor Doom. But now Doom has further plans to save the world, one world under Emperor Doom. So, without further ado, let's get him open. Here we have Emperor Doom out of the packaging with those few accessories on the table. Not quite a set of hands. You get one open hand and then one trigger finger hand. But you'll notice this Doom has no gun. He has no holster. Why would you need it when you're the Sorcerer Supreme? So instead you get these swirly-twirly plastic pieces now in green to represent his mystical abilities. So we'll look at all of that shortly. Now, it's built on the same base body of Doom that we have gotten multiple times before. The difference being his wearing the cape, but the cape isn't reuse, that is brand new. If I bring in the two versions of Doctor Doom or Doctor Strange, you will notice that yes, the cape is different on all three of these Marvel Legend figures. So yes, the capes are different. But if I move that one out of the way and bring one of the previous Dooms in, that's essentially what we've got here. We have got an amalgamation of Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. What if Doom was the Sorcerer Supreme? Well, now you don't have to wonder, because he's Emperor Doom. So yeah, let me get the tape measure out so we can see he stands at about 6.5 inches to the top of his hood. So he's looking good. Let's take a closer look. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, it does seem to be a newly sculpted mask on the face, and also a different hood as well. They have uniquely sculpted it so the hood sort of sits around the Eye of Agamotto, but the faceplate under there as well is newly sculpted. It is not the same as the previous versions. It's unique for this Emperor Doom, and also they've put some light green paint around the eyes, so when the light catches it just right, you can see that little bit of green glimmering from the eye holes. The previous versions of Dooms have had different ways of showing that. Some of them had the skin tone, some not. So yeah, if I just do a quick side by side with, let's say, the retro carded Doom and also the Doom head that came on the Skrull Build-A-Figure version, you'll notice all the hoods are different and all the faceplates are different as well. The Cabal reused one of those versions for sure. But this Emperor Doom, definitely a unique head sculpt. Let's come back to it just for a quick second, because as I said, you've got the hood on there, but the cape will not hinder any of the hood movement. You can still get him looking left and right. You can still get him looking down a little bit and looking up. It is a disc and hinge, so if you force it, he will look up, but of course the cape there is going to hinder that, because the cape is sculpted in such a way and it flares out a little bit at top. But like I said, it is not attached, so it just sort of sits there. But because the hood is shaped like that, it sort of keeps it snug under the hood, and then that Eye of Agamotto sort of sits nicely in the little curvature of the hood. And if we have a look there, the Eye of Agamotto, you can see it's got a light green to it with the white pupil, then like a gold plastic on the outside with the little rivets in it, and then the rest of the cape is sculpted along the yellow line all the way down and across this Marvel Legend all the way back up to the top of this Doom. So yeah, there we go. The cape sits nicely over the two shoulders actually, and as I said, the sort of hood keeps it tucked in position for sure, so it's not going to get in the way of articulation when you start moving him. You get the sort of symbol on the front, like I said, there's that. The belt is slightly different to the previous versions of Doom as well. As I said, you get no holster. The skirt piece seems to be a little bit shorter. He's showing some leg, and then there's the rest of his legs. Again, these are the exact same Doom legs that we have gotten about 3 times at least already. So it's just the same ones again. But I do think this green is a slight different version of green, and we'll check that out in a minute. But yeah, we've seen this Doom before. In regards to articulation, with the hood cape on, his arms will still go all the way up to 90. Like I said, the cape will just move up and out the way. You do get the double jointed elbows. So decent enough range considering how chunky his armor is. The skirt does have a cut in it, like so you can still get the legs up and the skirt will move, and then you get the double jointed knees, and you can get him kicking his butt underneath his cape as well. So yeah, you can still get his legs kicking out, etc. So Doom's got some okay articulation considering he's a man in metal armor, and the armor always had some nice sculpted detail on it, to be fair. Look at the shoulders there, some nice texture. And I don't mind the pins so much in this type of armor because you can just assume it's an element of the armor, but you get all the buckles in there as well on the legs as well. You can see underneath on the thighs those same sculpted buckles. And it's not so much a chrome. It would be nice to see a Doctor Doom with like the chrome paint for these elements. It's definitely that sort of gunmetal marbleized plastic, but it does the job, doesn't it? It does the job. So yeah, again, the colours definitely pop on this guy for sure. Now, I just said his articulation was okay, but with Legends, I feel I'm always generous as it's a balance between aesthetics and articulation. And with so much of the uniqueness of this particular design for Doom being front and center, they didn't want to break any of that up with like an additional torso swivel or ball joint or an additional crunch, unfortunately. So you still get the ball joint at the waist hidden at the break of where the skirt is. So that is where you're going to get your swivel down there at the belt, and also a little bit forward. Not a crazy amount back, but you do get a little tiny bit forward. Can't really see it that much with the cape on. But if I take the cape off, put the head back on here, again, you do get the additional sort of ball joint at the neck. I guess you want to call it a ball joint. And then on the back, you get the peg hole and his little rocket boosters that do have the holes in if you want to put some effects in there. But why would you need to do that when he literally has the cloak of levitation? He does not need rocket jet blasters anymore. So there we go. So there's Doom without the cape on. Maybe you could use that cape with the other Dooms if you wanted to do a switcheroo. But again, he usually has this emblem on the front with that cape anyway. But yeah, otherwise, it is the same Doom base body we have seen before with a new head, additional deco on the torso, and an addition of Doctor Strange's cape. In regards to other accessories out of the packaging, he has a set of fisted hands, and then he has one trigger finger hand, but remember, he has no gun. And then the other hand is a little bit more useful, I think, for those casting spell poses, as it's sort of an expressive open palm hand. So it would have been nice to get a set of these hands, but yeah, he comes with a trigger but no gun to hold. And then of course those swirly twirly pieces of translucent green plastic that we've got many times before. We've even got them with other Dooms before, but again, you could use them for casting spells or some type of mystical effects. But yeah, they're just a soft plastic. Just wrap it around the fingers. There's no rules to this, people. Do whatever you want. And apologies as my flight stand is a little bit wonky, but I did want to show you that the cape is on snug enough so you could put a flight stand on underneath it and you can get it, hold it up, so Doctor Strange can, well, Doctor Doom can be up in the sky casting some spells amongst your display, which looks very nice, I have to admit. So yeah, brings him to life a little bit on the shelf. Moving into comparisons then, here we have all of our recent time Marvel Legend Doctor Dooms. Of course, we have had others in the Legends line, but all of these are based on that same body. They've all got the same arms and legs, the same upper torsos on the majority of them. 3 of them have the same bout piece. The skirts are a little bit different amongst them all, and all of them have a unique face sculpt as well, or at least a unique head and hood combination, but you can tell the difference between them all. The very first one is from the Skrull Build-A-Figure wave, then you've got the retro card version on the Fantastic Four, and then you've got the Cabal version that actually has the full soft goods cape, but no bendy wire, so not a lot of posing ability. And then of course now we have our Emperor Doom. So again, I still think they can upgrade Doom a little bit more articulation in the torso area. Really would like to see a soft goods bendy wire cape for Doom as well to get him into some of those dynamic poses. But I understand soft goods isn't always the Legends aesthetic, although both of these Dooms have soft goods, one on the neck, one on the cape. So the next level up has to be soft goods with a bendy wire, right? But pick your poison. If anyone's curious of any swappability amongst them all of them have a slightly different shade of green. So if you swap the heads, then the hoods wouldn't match what's on the rest of the body. However, you can swap the capes on, let's say, the Skrull Build-A-Figure version and then the new version, as both of the capes will just come off the figure. They're not attached by any means. There's no soft goods or anything like that. So I do think the Skrull Build-A-Figure version is the best one to do the cape swap if you wanted to do that. And as I said, there's the new Doom with the old school cape on as well. So yeah, again, you have your options, but I like this one. And when I say this one, I mean Emperor Doom needs his throne. So here we have the Diamond Select, Marvel Select throne from Doctor Doom. Now, it does scale nicely with Legends. The chair's a little bit big, but obviously Doom, when he's sitting on there, still looks really nice and imposing. But unfortunately, these sort of hard capes are not going to really work to get him in any sitting poses. But it's still a nice diorama background piece for any type of Doom display. And I'm sure if I take his cape off, he will sit in it. Yes, he will. You can absolutely make this work on a display. The throne just makes him seem more of a centerpiece, more of a standout character on a Marvel Legends display. And I would really like Legends to do more of these throne type things. I know we've seen a throne with Kang the Conqueror, but there are lots of characters and regal characters that could be posed with a throne in the Marvel Legends line, and I'd love to see them attempt to do something like this, or even his little podium that he stands on and gives speeches to in this Doom storyline could be easily an additional accessory. And to be honest, I think Doctor Doom just likes dressing up as other Marvel heroes, as here we have another hybrid as Doctor Doom as Iron Man with the infamous Iron Man. So we've got Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Doom and Iron Man. The mystical section of the display is definitely flushing out a little bit, as here we have Clea, who was also a big part of this story arc, and then the Walgreens exclusive Doctor Strange, who I still think is the best version of Comic Strange we have in our Marvel Legends collection. Granted, he's worthy of an upgrade, but he's the best we've got for now. These three look great together, and it's comic accurate. Here we have our ill Doctor Strange. Here's the version that came in the 2-pack with Wong. And to be fair, I'm curious if we can use those effect pieces on this Doom, as even though his hands won't match, they'll be hidden behind those translucent discs. Let's give it a go. And would you look at that? You absolutely can. So the hands will peg in to those wrist ports, and even though they ain't the right hands, you can't even tell on a display as they're hidden behind those mystical effects, and it definitely gives this Doom a whole nother element. They should have included some green versions of these within this figure, absolutely. If I spin him around to the side there, you can see the yellow hands sticking out a tiny bit, but I promise you, from front on a display, nah, you're not going to notice. He looked really good. Here we have Doom, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Iron Man. And I believe the new Iron Man that comes in the Executioner Build-A-Figure wave matches the timeline of this Doom. Here we have Maximum, Sirius, Spider-Man, and Black Widow. A couple of cosmic, because why not? Here we have Adam Warlock and Loki. Keeping it cosmic, here we have the Gameverse Thanos, and then the mini comic Wave 2 version of Silver Surfer. And it's Doom, isn't it? So here we have one of the many versions of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And we may as well show the other two. Here we have Ben Grimm, the Thing, and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. And that will do for now. Here we have some of the Who crew. Now, I haven't read any of the One World Under Doom story, so if there are any obvious Marvel Legend comparisons I'm missing, I'm sure you'll politely let me know in the comments below. Like, what character comes with those gold bars? Is it his giant T-Rex? That's an actual thing too, by the way. T-Rex Doom. Here we have Frogman, Jeff and Tigra. Then last but never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal. Fire, Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Emperor Doom, aka Doctor Doom, aka Vincent Von Doom. You know who he is, but you may not be familiar with this concept, with this Sorcerer Supreme version of Doctor Doom. You may not recognize the character design, and quite rightly so. It is from a story that has literally happened within the last year or so. But I always like to learn via the medium of action figures, and I do like the concept of Doctor Doom being Sorcerer Supreme. I do think that's an interesting story worthy of checking out. So the One World in the Doom story I think is finished by now, so maybe I can check it out on a trade or something. But here we have him in Marvel Legends form. Like I said, a very quick turnaround from the comic book page to plastic, which isn't a bad thing at all. I think it's a solid representation of Doom from that particular story run, using elements that are already in the Marvel Legends library. Now, I know everybody isn't for reuse, but for a variant costume design like this that not everybody is going to buy, I think it's fair game. Let people buy it who want to buy it, and it's out there now. So let me know in the comments below, will you be adding this Emperor Doom to your collection, and have you read the One World in the Doom story? Is it worth checking out? Again, curious to know. Let me know in the comments. But if you like Marvel Legends, you are in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button. Hit all on the notification bell. Don't miss out on the video, and please hit that join button. Become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Now, I'm sure this Doom could have come with more accessories. I know a lot of people are going to get him holding that red book that came in the retro Doom packet, but I couldn't be asked to look through my accessory bin to find it. So use your imagination, all right? But you can find me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, on my X at Dan Who Reviews, and I will, of course, see you on the next one.